Hi, stranger. Welcome to the Joker Iceberg. It starts out with Heath Ledger. You know, why so serious? But then it goes deeper. Jared Leto sending pig carcasses to his co-stars of Suicide Squad. Joaquin Phoenix dancing in the rain. And then it goes even deeper. Forgotten Joker timelines. Disturbing comic runs like The Man Who Laughs. Weird videos like Joker Beatboxing. And alternate Jokers. The obscure, the insane, and the completely unhinged. Until we reach a real person. Someone who believed he was the Joker and acted like it, putting the lives of hundreds of people at risk. You think you know the Joker, but by the end of this video, you might wish you didn't. I'm excited to get into today's stories, but before we do, thank you for watching. We live in a society is a meme that a lot of people attribute to the Joker, but actually started way before the 2019 movie. It started out on 4chan and Tumblr in the early 2010s in incel, edgelord, and teen angst communities. We live in a society mocks dramatic complaints about society on these message boards. Like, I'm 14, this is deep energy. Or, when my mom tells me to take out the trash, we live in a society. The meme almost immediately became associated with the Joker after the Joker 2019 movie dropped. Even though the movie never says the line exactly, and a society that hates him and treats him like trash. Fans edited it into trailers, memes, parodies, and even fake Oscar speeches. The saying makes fun of people who think of themselves as philosophers and view the Joker as an icon. But it also points out the fact that we do really live in a society. Heath Ledger played the Joker in Christopher Nolan's 2008 movie, The Dark Knight. And he's the reason why most people think it's the greatest superhero movie of all time. His performance is so intense and so terrifying that the Joker doesn't feel like a character. The way Heath Ledger was able to convey the psychopath with depth and terror, but also making him seem like a real human being, really scared everybody. The reason why the actor Heath Ledger was able to play the Joker so convincingly was because he method acted the role, which is to say that he underwent intense preparation so he would genuinely believe he was the Joker when they were filming. Apparently, Ledger locked himself in a hotel room for weeks before the movie started, keeping a journal in character. He scribbled dark thoughts, twisted jokes, and bye-bye in huge letters. He wasn't just playing the Joker. He became him. His performance earned him a Best Supporting Actor Oscar. Tragically, Ledger passed away before the film was released due to an accidental overdose from prescription medication. While some blamed his death on his mental health after playing the role, those close to him said that it wasn't the Joker that killed him. It was an accident. But even so, Heath Ledger will be remembered for hundreds of years to come. Ledger didn't just raise the bar for the Joker. He became the bar. Jared Leto played the Joker in the DC movies Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, Justice League, and Suicide Squad. Like Heath Ledger, Jared Leto tried to method act the role, but his version of method acting? Sending co-stars pig carcasses, used condoms, and bizarre handwritten letters. Will Smith later joked about it and made it sound like working with Leto was a lot. Unlike Ledger, Leto's performance failed to resonate with audiences. The tattoos, the grills, the purple Lambo. It was less clown prince of crime and more, please help me, my son just tattooed Pimp Daddy on his left butt cheek and I don't know what to do. Audiences were confused, critics were brutal, and the internet was actually really respectful and understanding. Just kidding. Mark Hamill is best known for playing Luke Skywalker. But for a generation of fans, he's also remembered for voicing the Joker. Hamill voiced the character in Batman the Animated Series, the Arkham video games, and dozens of other DC properties. Unlike Ledger or Leto, he didn't lock himself in a dark hotel room to method act the role, or mail anybody pig guts. He just stepped into the recording booth and became the chaos. His laugh is iconic. His delivery is unhinged, terrifying, and kind of funny. While Hamill struggled to escape the shadow of his role as Luke Skywalker, his Joker became the gold standard for how to voice the character. Mark Hamill didn't need face paint or grills. He just needed a mic, and he could get your attention. Joker 2019 is a film directed by Todd Phillips, starring Joaquin Phoenix as Arthur Fleck, a mentally ill, socially isolated clown for hire who dreams of being a stand-up comedian. Arthur deals with an abusive mother, a neurological condition that causes him to laugh uncontrollably at the worst times, and a city that constantly beats him down. His life spirals into delusion. He imagines his single mother neighbor falling in love with him. He dreams of being recognized by his favorite talk show host, Murray Franklin, but reality doesn't care. Arthur is ridiculed, humiliated, fired, beaten, and finally he snaps. He kills 3 men on the subway, becomes a symbol of violent resistance, and when Murray Franklin finally invites the Joker onto the talk show, you get what you fucking deserve. Bang. Joker ends with the city on fire, protesters in clown masks, Arthur dancing on the flames of a society that left him behind. The movie made over $1 billion, won Phoenix an Oscar, and sparked endless debates. Some called it a masterpiece. Others called it dangerous. It struck a nerve with a certain audience. Lonely men, outcasts, and disillusioned people that saw Arthur Fleck as a kind of prophet. It started actually resonating with online subcultures, from incels to communists to rebels. And the Joker 2019 movie became an anthem for young men who felt disillusioned by society. Which is why director Todd Phillips turned Joker 2 into a musical where Joker prematurely busts inside Lady Gaga, making their hero look like a doofus. Instead of doubling down, Phillips leaned into chaos. The movie bombed at the box office because everybody who loved the first movie hated the second. Some people say it was a massive failure, but others say it was the greatest troll in Hollywood history. And hey, Joaquin Phoenix got paid, Todd Phillips got paid. Not the worst thing in the world, but a huge missed opportunity. The Joker's boner. No, not that kind of boner. Back in the 1950s, boner was slang for a mistake, a blunder, a boner. And Batman number 66, titled The Joker's Comedy of Errors, might be one of the most unintentionally hilarious comics of all time. The word boner is used a lot. Robin says Joker has forced Batman into a boner. Joker vows to show Gotham just how many boners he can make. The city laughs at Joker's boner. And a newspaper headline proudly announces, Joker pulls boner of the year. It's real. It's canon. And it's beautiful. One of the purest examples of comic book innocence accidentally turning into a moment of internet gold. My Joker performance is a YouTube video of a middle school theater class by 13-year-old actor Drew Russell playing the Joker in full face makeup. It has 2.7 million views. In it, Drew delivers what I would call a passionate attempt at Heath Ledger's Joker, complete with a working-class British accent and a wobbly stage knife and some truly intense physical acting. At one point, he literally drags a female actor across the stage with unhinged force, then waves his knife around while vaguely making references to The Dark Knight. But the real reason why the video became legendary is its opening line.
I'm the Joker, baby!
And that laugh at the end. Pure cinema. The comment section turned him into an instant meme. Like all great Joker content, it walks the line between funny and genuinely disturbing. But here's the twist. Years later, Drew did an AMA on Reddit and revealed that he took it all in stride. The memes, the jokes, the legacy. The Batman community welcomed him with open arms. And in the end, he proved something important. No matter how much we laugh at him, he'll always be the Joker, baby. Jack Nicholson played the Joker in Tim Burton's Batman, 1989, starring opposite Michael Keaton. And while he's not as universally loved as Heath Ledger, he was the Joker for an entire generation. What makes Nicholson's Joker unique is we get to see him before he goes insane. He starts off as mob enforcer Jack Napier, and after falling into a vat of acid, he becomes the Joker, a flamboyant, homicidal artist with a permanent grin on his face and a taste for chaos. Unlike Leto's edgelord or Ledger's anarchist, this Joker is more of a straight clown. Nicholson's Joker is cartoonish and theatrical, but still menacing. Honestly, I think a part of the reason why his performance gets overlooked is because he played a better psychopath in The Shining. Nicholson might be a victim of his own brilliance as an actor. But if you go back and watch Batman 1989, you'll see how good he became at playing the crazy clown prince of crime, decades before gritty realism took over the Batman franchise. Joker Stairs is a reference to the stairs that Joaquin Phoenix dances down during his transformation into the Joker in Joker 2019. It's the moment when Arthur Fleck sheds the broken man and truly becomes the Joker, kicking, spinning, and moonwalking to Gary Glitter as his life has fallen apart and he just doesn't care. Those stairs, they're real. They're located at West 167th Street in the Highbridge neighborhood of the Bronx, New York City. After the movie's release, the stairs became a viral destination. Tourists, influencers, and full-grown men in clown costumes started doing photo shoots and TikToks in the stairs at all hours of the day and night, sometimes clogging traffic, annoying locals, and always trying to do that exact same dance. Eventually, a mural was painted on the stairs. It looks nice, but let's be honest, it was probably painted to stop clowns from showing up there at 2 a.m. The Joker Stairs are more than just a location. They're a piece of movie history and an homage to a character so powerful that there are probably people in the Joker steps right now as you're watching this. Gypsy Crusader is an edgy internet personality best known for dressing up as the Joker and going on Omegle to tell edgy white supremacist jokes.
Let me get this straight. You are racist, you're so political, you're homophobic, and you're on this?
Yes.
Just to tell everyone about it.
Yes.
Do you know how much people commit because of you
good.
He became infamous for saying racist, inflammatory things in Joker cosplay. A mix of trolling, being a villain, and a real-life cautionary tale. It turns out the Gypsy Crusader had already been in prison and had been in Nazi groups for years. But here's where it gets weird. Even the Nazi groups got sick of him. They allegedly showed up to his house and threatened him for giving Nazis a bad rep. I mean, I thought the frickin' Holocaust gave them a bad rep. I guess not. The groups trolled Gypsy Crusader by repeatedly ordering takeout to his house so he couldn't stream. In 2021, Gypsy Crusader was arrested for possession of a firearm as a felon and sentenced to prison for 41 months. He was released on January 31st, 2023. And while no one with a functioning brain took him seriously, Gypsy Crusader isn't a symbol. He's a warning. Proof that if you're not careful, even fictional madness can become real. Cesar Romero played the Joker in the campy 1960s Adam West Batman TV show. Cesar Romero took the role seriously. He even did his own makeup. But his Joker was very different from the versions we know about today. He was goofy, flamboyant, and ridiculous in the best way. More prankster than psychopath. Famously, Romero refused to shave his mustache for the role, so they just caked white makeup over it. You can still see it if you look closely. And while the 1960s show is often made fun of for its camp and bam, biff, pow energy, you can tell that Cesar Romero really put his heart and soul into the role. It laid essential groundwork for Batman's cultural legacy, and Cesar Romero was a huge part of that. There's no Batman without the Joker, and Romero made sure that the world saw that. Kevin Michael Richardson played the Joker in the 2004 animated series, The Batman. He also voiced Lucius Fox, Avery, Wounded Man, and Bulky Man in Batman Arkham Knight. His Joker stood out almost immediately, with a deep, growling, almost animalistic voice. Richardson gave the character a new edge. Darker, more primal, and totally unlike the high-pitched cackle that the fans were used to. It was a bold shift, and while not every fan embraced it at first, it helped expand the range of how the Joker could sound, proving that the Clown Prince of Crime didn't need to be squeaky to be scary. Mortal Kombat is a reference to the Joker being a playable character in Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe, and later in Mortal Kombat 11 as a DLC fighter. His moveset captures everything that makes the Joker terrifying and unpredictable. He throws razor-sharp playing cards. He zaps opponents with a joy buzzer, and drops bombs stuffed inside birthday gifts. And his fatal blow, the Joker winds up a creepy Jack-in-the-Box. And if his opponent gets caught, Joker tackles them, stabs them repeatedly, and carves a massive Joker smile on their face, causing the screen to be covered in blood. It's gross. It's over the top. And it proves that in a game filled with literal demons and cyborg assassins, the Joker still manages to be one of the most disturbing characters on the roster. The Red Hood is a reference to The Killing Joke by Alan Moore and Brian Bolland, one of the most iconic and haunting depictions of the Joker ever made. Through a frame narrative of Joker escaping Arkham, crippling Barbara Gordon, aka Batgirl, and kidnapping Commissioner Gordon to drive him insane, the comic flashes back to Joker's tragic past. Before the clown makeup, he was a failed stand-up comedian. His wife was pregnant, the bills were stacking up, and he was desperate for money. He got roped into a plan to rob a chemicals factory, dressed as the ringleader of the gang named the Red Hood. The plan was for him to be the fall guy in case things went south. But before the heist, Joker's wife and unborn child died in a freak accident. He tried to back out, but the thugs said that they would kill him. And that night, Batman showed up. During the chaos, Batman accidentally knocks the Red Hood into a vat of acid, tries to save him, but it's too late. The man emerged from the chemical waste, disfigured, broken. He pulled off his red helmet and saw his reflection. The Clown Prince of Crime was born. By the end of the story, Joker tells Batman a joke about two guys trying to escape from an insane asylum. And surprisingly, Batman actually laughs. Batman reaches out. He puts his hands on the Joker's shoulders. The panel fades to black. No final punch. No resolution. Just rain, laughter, and then nothing. For decades, fans have debated that final moment. Did Batman actually kill the Joker? Or did they both finally understand each other? The Joker Is Sane is a theory among hardcore fans that the Joker isn't insane. He's hyper sane, meaning he's not mentally ill in the traditional sense. He understands what he's doing. He knows the consequences. He just chooses chaos. According to this theory, the Joker's crimes aren't random. They're artistic, political, personal, advocating for the world to see itself the way he sees it. Nothing matters, so why care? Great portrayals of the Joker lean into this theory, like in The Dark Knight during the interrogation scene. Heath Ledger Joker says, "Don't hit the head. The victim gets all disoriented." Does that sound like the words of an insane person to you? No. It sounds like a person with expertise, somebody who knows what he's doing. That's cold, calculated. And Alfred said it best. Some men just want to watch the world burn. The theory that the Joker is sane actually goes even deeper. Some fans believe that the Joker is so aware of the world around him that he actually knows he's in a comic book. So he keeps upping the ante, doing crazier and crazier things just to stay relevant, just to make sure that the writers keep him alive for the next issue. And the Joker's going to outlive me. He's probably going to outlive you watching this. So if he knows he's in a comic book, does that mean that he lives forever? It's a terrifying idea. What if the Joker isn't insane? What if he's the only one who really understands what he's doing? Joker Beatboxing is a YouTube video by the YouTuber 80 Fits, where he says, "Why so serious?" in a Joker voice, and then laughs while doing beatboxing. Hard. He laughs, he growls, and somehow turns the Joker into some weird EDM character. It's kind of impressive, but also kind of cringe. And it proves, beyond a shadow of the doubt, that 80 Fits is really cool and has definitely had sex before. The video lives rent-free in the minds of millions of people who have seen it, but I wouldn't do that to you.
Why so serious?
This video serves as a reminder that sometimes the Joker doesn't have to be deep, disturbing, or tragic. Sometimes the Joker just bangs. Fan films about the Joker are everywhere. Just search Joker fan film on YouTube and you'll find an endless amount of film school rejects and grease paint talking about how we live in a society. Some of them are 5 minutes long. Some of them are 30. All of them have at least one guy whispering to himself in the mirror. That said, some of the Joker fan films go hard. Bat in the Sun has some great ones with cinema quality lighting, fight choreography, and Joker performances that are actually as good as Heath Ledger's. The sheer amount of fan films on YouTube proves one thing. People are obsessed with this character. Gamers Rise Up started as a satirical subreddit, poking fun at the nice guy turned psychopath trope, often using images of the Joker with fake deep quotes like, "Society killed the gamer." But that didn't last long. Soon it became a magnet for incels, bigots, and anyone trying to get a rise out of someone online. Edgelords who genuinely saw Joker as a misunderstood hero. People like Gypsy Crusader. Joker was someone who got their hatred of women, minorities, and anyone that didn't fit their worldview. It escalated fast. What started with memes of gamers being oppressed turned into stuff like me reading my transgender son's suicide note and Holocaust denial, and calls for enforced marriage. Unironic hate speech wrapped in greasy JPEGs of the Joker. Eventually, Reddit banned the sub for blatant anti-Semitism. The downfall of Gamers Rise Up proves something important. The Joker doesn't just attract edgy teens and theater kids. Sometimes the worst people in the world look at the Joker and see themselves. Joker Hates Nazis is a moment of the comic Injustice 0 year that set the internet on fire for all the wrong reasons. The Joker, mid-rampage, looks a Nazi in the face and says, "I'm American, I fucking hate Nazis. I'm a homicidal maniac, not a traitorous bigot." The internet clowned this immediately. People are like, wait, this guy who killed Robin with a crowbar is woke? The dude gassed an entire circus, but draws the line on hate speech? It became a meme overnight, proving that even the Joker can become a cringe PSA. But some comic fans with more time on their hands had a more interesting take. The Joker wouldn't hate Nazis because they're amoral. He would hate them because they're boring. Predictable uniforms, rigid ideology, no imagination. The Joker is chaos incarnate. Nazis are just recycled evil with a bad color palette. So yeah, maybe the Joker would hate Nazis, but not because it's the right thing to do, because it's the funniest thing to do. Dinosaur Joker, also known as Joker's Art, is the Joker's character in Jurassic League, a gloriously insane comic that reimagines the Justice League as dinosaurs. Superman becomes Superstar. Batman becomes Batsar. You get it. And their villains are dinofied too, controlled by a mysterious force called the Dark Embryo. Yes, it's exactly as awesome as it sounds. In this prehistoric Elseworld, Joker's Art is responsible for killing Batsar's parents, and wreaks havoc because of his toxic venom breath. Batsar eventually confronts him in a climactic showdown, learning to trust his allies along the way. But before Joker's Art can be captured, he gets eaten by the Dark Embryo that turns into Darkseid, a kaiju-sized version of Darkseid. While Joker's Art doesn't get that much screen time, his presence proves something important. Joker transcends timelines, genres, and even species. Batsar describes him as a thing that kills for pleasure. There's just something in him that we can't escape. The Man Who Laughs is a comic by Ed Brubaker and Doug Mahnke that describes the Joker's first appearance in Gotham City. After the Joker takes a cameraman hostage and declares war on Gotham City's elite, he writes a poem in blood on the newly minted Arkham Asylum's wall. One by one, they'll hear my call. and this wicked town will follow my fall. Initially, Batman struggles to beat the Joker. He's too unpredictable, fast, and his plans are too intelligent, with him using Joker gas to poison a lot of rich targets and staying ahead of Batman and the cops. But when the Joker declares Bruce Wayne as his next target, Batman gains the upper hand in the weirdest way possible. Joker actually succeeds in infecting Bruce Wayne with Joker serum, and we get to see inside of his mind as we see his version of what the Joker sees. His parents, who died and he did everything for, mock him for being afraid of the dark and bats. His anger at their death morphs into anger at everyone who tried to help him. Batman's envy of normal people makes him want to kill the world. Luckily, Alfred saves him, and Batman manages to stop Joker from poisoning the water supply, turning Gotham City into an army of Jokers. At the end of their fight, he dangles Joker over the water and considers cutting the rope, killing him. But he doesn't. He says, I can't. Saving the Joker's life, the Batman has a new arch nemesis. But we understand Batman's one rule not as a strength, but as a weakness. In saving Joker, Batman may have saved Gotham, but he also gave Joker exactly what he wanted. A reason to keep playing the game. A weakness the Joker will push to its limits. Melvin, brother of the Joker, is a now infamous 2009 comedy sketch, originally uploaded by a channel called The Guy with Glasses, better known as the Nostalgia Critic. In it, he plays Melvin, Heath Ledger Joker's deeply unfunny younger brother. He rants about ray guns and being a villain, while his mom, also played by the Guy with Glasses, screams at him in the background of the video, before finally putting some NyQuil in her Vicodin so she can go to sleep, pretending not to be embarrassed that he's living with his mother. The premise of the sketch is not terrible, but the acting and the comedy are so cringe that I felt sick watching it. 4 minutes into the 9-minute video, I felt so hateful and so cringed out that I had to stop watching it. It turns out this is a pretty common experience. People online literally have contests to see how much of the video they can watch before stopping. Turns out 4 minutes is pretty impressive. I'm pretty sure if you finish Melvin, brother of the Joker, you don't just go insane, you become the Joker. John Doe isn't the Joker, but he could become him if you make the wrong choices. In Batman the Telltale series, you play as Bruce Wayne, and early on, you're committed to Arkham Asylum. That's where you meet him. He's pale, nervous, charismatic in a twitchy, too much eye contact kind of way. But he's not the Joker. Not yet. Telltale gives us something no other Batman story gives. Control. You shape who John becomes. If you lie to him, abandon him, manipulate him, he spirals. The laughs get louder. The violence gets worse. But if you're kind to him, if you guide him, if you believe in him, you don't just create a new Joker, you create a new friendship, one that's never existed before. And if you trust him too much, ignore the red flags, you create the most terrifying Joker the world has ever seen. Not because he's evil, but because you helped him get there. Telltale's Enemy Within did what I think Joker 2019 was trying to do. It humanized the Joker. But this time, he isn't just a victim of society. He was your friend, your creation. He looked you in the eyes, and you let him in. I related to John's pain, his loneliness, his anger. I saw myself in it. And that's what makes him the scariest Joker yet. Because when he laughs, you almost understand why. Gaggy the Clown. You've heard of Harley Quinn, but before Harley was Gaggy. Gaggy Gagsworthy was the Joker's original sidekick, first appearing in Batman number 186. He was a little person in a full clown suit, complete with a little ruffled collar, and his whole thing was screaming. No, really. His supersonic scream was enough to knock people out cold. He helped Joker pull off a series of art heists before getting beat up by Batman and Robin. And then he just kept showing up. But here's where it gets dark. Before becoming a criminal, Gaggy was a part of the traveling circus. He worked as a tightrope walker, proud of his act, until the circus brought out a new attraction, the Flying Graysons. The original Robin, Dick Grayson's family. Gaggy was demoted to the freak show. He was mocked. He was caged. He was laughed at. Until one day, he snapped. He mutilated the other clowns, and that caught the Joker's attention. Not because of the violence, but because of the style. They became partners in crime for a while. But then Harley Quinn entered the picture, a therapist the Joker seduced into being his insane, love-struck slave. Let's be honest, she was a better character, and a lot more marketable. Gaggy was pushed aside, and almost forgotten, until he came back. Bitter, jealous, violent. In 3 Jokers, Red Hood, the moniker now adopted by Batman's edgelord former Robin, Jason Todd, tracks him down and kills him. By feeding him to a shark infected by Joker venom. Yeah, it's kind of messed up, but that's comics. But Gaggy said something sad about Joker lore. He was the first reflection of the Joker's madness. A clown who felt discarded. A freak who just wanted to be seen. And in the end, Joker moved on without him. The Goker isn't from any comic. He's not a lost Elseworlds villain. He's not from a rejected Arkham Asylum pitch. He's from something way more powerful. Oni plays. In one of the channel's Game Boy Advance playthroughs, specifically The Nightmare Before Christmas, Chris O'Neill and his friends begin riffing in character as Joker and Harley Quinn. The impressions were bad.
Should have like a failed clone called the Goker. I am the Goker.
But that's what made it funny. At one point, one of them accidentally calls him the Goker, and they lose it. Suddenly, the Joker isn't the Joker. He's the Goker. They keep going. Harley Quinn becomes Marley Jin. Melvin, brother of the Joker, makes an appearance. A new villain gets pitched. The Chucker, a guy that just throws stuff at Batman. The entire thing has become an inside joke for Oni Plays fans, eventually becoming an animated short by Miles John, complete with cursed visuals. And while it's hilarious, the Goker is also a symbol of how far Joker's cultural reach has gone. He's not just a character anymore. He's a language. Even when someone says his name wrong, you still know what they mean. Ryan Gosling was offered to be the Joker during the casting of Suicide Squad. Director David Ayer was looking for a fresh take on the Joker, and DC actually offered the role to Ryan Gosling. This was around 2015, right around when Drive came out and turned him into the quiet, mysterious heartthrob of the internet. Gosling eventually passed on the role, and the role went to Jared Leto. Instead of getting Ryan Gosling and Margot Robbie as the chaotic relationship of Joker and Harley Quinn, we got them years later as Barbie and Ken, which in its own way is equally unhinged. But let's be real. Ryan Gosling deserves better than just being a himbo. Yes, he was a himbo in Drive, also in La La Land, and yes, even in Barbie. Even though La La Land was a masterpiece, don't get mad. He's still a himbo though. But imagine Gosling as the Joker. That 1,000-yard stare, that ability to make you feel what he isn't saying. He could have given us something haunting, maybe even something award-winning, but he passed on it. Hey, at least we got Ken. The Joker would cut Ken's balls off. Tommy Wiseau is a filmmaker known for the movie The Room, which is the weirdest, most unintentionally hilarious movie of all time. Known for his eccentric personality and his odd accent, Wiseau is a Hollywood legend who never breaks character. Something you might not know is Tommy Wiseau auditioned to be the Joker in a YouTube video 7 years ago. He's doing a pretty horrible impression of Heath Ledger, but he does give us some banger lines, like,
"Have you ever danced with a devil in the pale moonlight? Did you?"
It's hilarious. Tommy Wiseau is insane, but he's not as insane as the Joker. It's a different type of insanity. The Joker in 1975-76 is a short-lived comic series by Denny O'Neil, Irv Novick, and Jose Luis Garcia that follows the Joker as the main character in a series of solo adventures. It only ran for 9 issues, a 10th was written but never released, and Batman never appeared in the series. It came way before the Killing Joke turned Joker into a monster, so his antics are way more sanitized. This was the era of the Comics Code Authority, so Joker couldn't kill anyone. So he mostly just commits weird theatrical crimes and gets punched in the face by Lex Luthor, Green Arrow, and Two-Face. Each issue is self-contained. No origin, no story arc. Kind of like the Adam West Batman show, but starring the Joker. Because there's no Batman, the series feels off. Joker doesn't work on his own, only as a chaotic, laughing foil to Batman's serious commitment to order and justice. Still, the series has charm. One villain is called the Weeper, a villain who can't stop crying. It's a forgotten corner of Joker history, but it's proof that even the Clown Prince of Crime had a Saturday morning cartoon phase. Gay Joker is a long-running theory that the Joker is romantically obsessed with Batman. Some people think it's a fun theory. Others... Let's not talk about the others. People point out that while Harley Quinn is always throwing herself at the Joker, he never seems interested. He brushes her off, treats her like a sidekick, or mostly just ignores her. In Harleen by Stepien Sejic, Joker does show interest in Harley, but it's rare. Most of the time he only has eyes for Batman. Some people whose dad never loved them, inclusivity activists, have petitioned DC to change the Joker into someone who's canonically gay. But so far DC hasn't done it. It's all subtext. Something becoming increasingly rare in all storytelling. Still, it's not hard to see why this theory exists. Joker doesn't just hate Batman, he needs him, needs his attention, talks about him like an ex, laughs when Batman hits him. There's hate there, there's obsession there, and maybe there's even love there. But one thing's for sure, Harley Quinn is not the love of Joker's life. Harley Quinn vs. the Joker was a canceled film meant to star Jared Leto's Joker and Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn as our spin-off of Suicide Squad. It was written by Glenn Ficarra and John Requa, the screenwriters of Crazy Stupid Love, and was pitched as a rom-com gone psychotic. The plot was never officially revealed, but based on interviews and leaks, it would have focused on the toxic, chaotic relationship between Joker and Harley post-Suicide Squad. Think The Prestige, but about supervillains who have the hots for each other. There were rumors that Harley might start breaking away, maybe even forming her own girl group like Birds of Prey. Joker could also build his own army of freaks with Killer Croc and Deadshot. And who gets stuck in the middle? Batman. It could have been violent, hilarious, and uncomfortable in a good way. A war of love and madness between DC's most lovable villains. But after Suicide Squad bombed with critics and Jared Leto Joker became a meme, Warner Brothers pulled the plug. Maybe it's for the best. Or maybe we missed out. Joker Mask is a real comic book crossover between Batman and The Mask, the one Jim Carrey made famous in the 90s. In the story, Joker and Harley Quinn rob a museum and stumble upon a strange wooden mask. Their henchman puts it on and gains supernatural abilities, with invulnerability and the ability to warp reality to whatever he imagines. He takes it off and Joker kills him for it. With it, Joker becomes unstoppable, crafting whatever his insane mind wants to make and nearly killing Batman. But something's wrong. The media doesn't call him Joker anymore. They call him Big Head, the name of the original Mask character. Joker snaps. He hijacks every TV broadcast in the world just to scream that he's still the Joker. He punches Harley Quinn to the side and replaces her with hotter assistants for his TV show. So she leaves him. She joins up with Poison Ivy, and together they take over Joker's TV empire. Ivy even takes over his mind at one point and uses his masked up state to destroy a logging corporation's headquarters. But Joker eventually regains control, mask still on, and knocks Ivy out cold. Batman finally recovers and challenges him to a final showdown. But here's the twist. Batman doesn't beat him with force, he beats him with ego. He tells Joker that Big Head is just a cheap knockoff, and Joker himself has become unoriginal, cheap, not funny anymore, and Joker malfunctions. He literally sprouts a second head and yells at him for being a sellout. He rips off the mask, and Batman finishes the job with help from the GCPD. The mask is buried again. It's one of the weirdest Joker stories ever made, but also, it's kind of perfect. Because the only thing stronger than Joker's need to win is his need to be himself, to be seen as he truly is. Even a godlike mask wasn't enough. He didn't want power. He wanted attention. And that's why Joker scares us, because deep down, we're the same. The Joker train attack sits at the very bottom of this iceberg, because it wasn't fiction. This was the moment the Joker inspired someone. At around 8 p.m. in Tokyo, Japan, on Halloween night 2021, 24-year-old Kyoto Hattori boarded a Keio railway train, dressed as the Joker. He blended in at first. It was Halloween after all. When he sprayed pesticide into the eyes of the man beside him, people were confused. Then he stabbed the man in the chest. Panic erupted. Kyoto waved the bloody knife and poured lighter fluid on the floor. Passengers scrambled to escape, trampling each other, clawing at the train doors. It was something out of a nightmare. Some squeezed through windows. Others screamed and ran into different cars as the flames began to spread. Someone pulled the emergency brake. The train stopped at Kokuyo Station, and Kyoto didn't try to run. Instead, he sat down on the empty train and lit a cigarette, waiting for the police to come, as the fire burned all around him. He was arrested on the spot. When asked why, he told the police he was depressed. He didn't get along with anyone. He didn't have friends anymore, and he wanted the death penalty. He believed if he killed at least 2 people, he'd get his wish. 8 days later, a 69-year-old man tried to start a fire on a different train, inspired by Kyoto, who was inspired by the Joker. Thankfully, no one died in either incident, but this wasn't cosplay. This wasn't a Halloween prank. This was someone who looked at the Joker and saw a savior. The Joker is not a hero. If you see yourself in him, if you admire him, if you don't feel sick watching him laugh as the world burns and innocent people die, stop reading the comics. Stop watching the movies. And please, talk to someone. Get help. Because if you made it this far down the iceberg, you might be more Joker than Batman. Subscribe for part 2, and don't blame me if you can't sleep tonight. Ha, ha, ha.